Hello, hello. Hello. It's me. Feeling pretty out of it today. I don't know why. It's like my, I'm just losing more and more motivation as the week goes on. Actually, isn't today's only Wednesday, right? Oh no. Today's only Wednesday and I'm already at like bottom of the barrel motivation. Don't want to do anything, but I am committed to the schedule. Committed to the schedule. You know what? I think this is probably one of the things that's broken, so hold on. I do need to mess with my bot really quick. So we're going to stop the bot. Alright, so bot, say goodbye, say goodnight. And this is now the local build of my bot. I feel like is switchable doesn't do anything. Yeah, is switchable is like literally the same thing as is live. Oh, actually, so I can reuse is switchable then, right? So hold on, even though my title says I'm working Godot 3.4, and I am supposedly working on the GitHub Game Off 2021. Hold on. It's like I always kind of forget that I actually need to fix the bot. So is switchable. So if is switchable, then we'll hit it with, that's not how you do an if statement in Golang. We'll grab all of this, unused, then we'll go function, one of these. Remember to call the go function afterwards. Look at that. So give that a save. Remember, do not click on run.sh. That would be an absolute travesty because that would expose all my runtime tokens. Oh, I see I have run.sh just open in my editor. Good thing I wasn't open to that explicit tab. Worse things have happened. Better things have also happened, so not too much of a difference there. But here we go. So we want to call go function if we are switchable, and then here if is switchable. So there's a few things we want to do. So one, we want to take out this check. So is switchable. Like this. So if is switchable, then we are no longer switchable, right? And then once we're done doing calling our go function, we'll do this. So I think that should work, hopefully. I think that this is also probably a problem. So if I return from this function early, yeah, that should be fine, maybe. Hold on. Hold on. Ooh. Alright, now I'm getting confused. I think if it's just easier to wrap everything else, or wrap everything up as an if else. It's not very idiomatic Go, but that's okay. So we do blah blah is live false bum bum. All right, so let me run through this case really quick, and then I can execute this from the command line. So we do an infinite loop. We block on select. If we ever receive anything on the quit channel, which is pretty much just Control-C, then we should return and stop infinitely looping. Otherwise, we'll hit defaults, and then if is switchable, which should be true by default. If is switchable, then is switchable is false, and then we'll run the go function, which means that we won't be just hammering the Twitch server over and over again. So then inside of the go function, we sleep for 1 minute. We check to see, where we check our is offline switch counter, compared against our max switch counter. So if this is greater than 10, then we are no longer live. And then we'll also just reset. Which means is live is our variable that we set to be able to send a new Discord message notifying people that I'm live. Please note that this has not actually happened since this is currently broken. We can do, boom, we send something here, boom, boom. If error is not nil, then we will want to, I don't think we'll want to return, actually, now I'm thinking about it. If error is not nil, then we'll want to send a Discord message to my error channel. And then also, we'll just assume that we're offline. If we don't have an error, aka if error is nil, then if there are streams, or if there are no streams, then we can assume that I'm offline. Otherwise, if I'm not live, then I'll want to send a message to my Discord. And so this is just the send data channel, which is what my runner uses here. So my runner infinitely polls in the same way that this does, right? Our Twitch bot infinitely polls and then blocks waiting for some sort of input. And then the same for just the runner, which contains the Twitch bot and the Discord bot. So whenever it receives data on like the Discord channel, it'll send it over to the Twitch bot channel to be handled. I think. Receive data. Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't send it over to the Twitch bot channel. It just calls this function directly. And I think that works out better. And then is live is true, which means that we won't be able to send another message until we're offline. And then also we set our is offline switch counter to 0 because we are clearly live. Yeah. And then is switchable is true, which allows us to hit this default thing again. So let's go to, oh, I still need to push out a hotfix for OpenCPHE. There's too many things. All right, hit me with a run sh. I don't remember if this, all right, that's fine. I couldn't remember if I logged my credentials into the terminal or not. That's always kind of scary for me. It's like, maybe, was I a smart enough person to remember to do this? I don't remember. Sometimes yes, a lot of the time, no. So let's see. We can run a few commands just to see. So help, look at that. There's the bot. Basically just sends it as fast as possible, which is my favorite. Randomize. We can duckify the bot. Randomize me into, yeah, there's the peanut and or potato. There's the Kuma. I think the bot's okay. Tell me a joke, bot. In Discord. Yeah. I feel like the bot isn't actually sending anything, but I don't remember. So I sent it at 2044. It's 2045. So it should be receiving something. I do know that with the previous implementation that I was using, my previous implementation was just using the same OAuth token, which was incorrect. Let me see. I think this should be better, but maybe not. Maybe not. So Discord channel. So it's, there's a few things that's happening. One, I don't have an error channel defined, which is probably a bad thing, considering that I'm trying to send things to my error channel. Here, common error, yeah. So common error is one of my Discord channel selectors, and these are all just IOTAs. And this is the idiomatic way of doing enums in Go. So this is horrible. I hate that. But what should be happening is that it should be logging an error to console, but maybe it's not. Yeah. Like you can see here that I should be... Oh. No, that makes sense. Then log error, db log error. Discord channel, and then it should be writing to one of the channels. Bot controller. Like the bots have like pretty crazy access to most channels. I don't know. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. So you can see here that this Discord bot just spins. Yeah, it just spins until it receives a quit command. Similarly, the Twitch bot, well, Twitch bot kind of spins via the select statement, which is almost the same. It's very weird. Very weird. Okay. So error is not nil. I don't know. Let's stop the bots. Kill it. I don't think it's actually signing out of Discord properly either. Let's just make sure that's signing out of Twitch. So we hit it with a help. Should not get a response. That's good. I do remember that when I was testing this a little earlier, that was happening actually. It would just create multiple Twitch bot sessions, and then it would just hammer my Twitch chat whenever I input any command. Luckily, it doesn't anymore, but let's see. Trying to figure out. Hit is switchable. Yeah. So this is okay. Maybe it's just not logging any errors. So if I just hit it with a log, print line. And we'll just hit it with, well no, print f, right? Print f, which is a formatted string. So we'll just pass in this thing, unable to call get streams endpoint. I also know that previously I was not using user logins. I was using, whatchamacallit? What was I using before? I was just using my user ID. Let me see if I can find it. There's a few things that changed. Let me see. Where do I build my request? So, okay, user ID. I feel like user login is not working for me for whatever reason. I can also just send like a raw API call, I think. Maybe. Or I might have to use Postman. Hold on. Give me back the stream intro. Open up Postman. Postman. Postwoman. And then we'll see where we go from there. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I don't have anything here. All right, close Postman. Bring me back to my main thing. So, okay. I know I don't have any sensitive information here, so this is okay. So we'll just type this in directly, right? HTTPS. Let's see, API. There's my Mangadex. API twitch.tv/helix/streams query parameter, I should say, is equal to 44. This one. OAuth token is missing. I don't need an OAuth token, but that's fine. I think this will work. So instead of, well, this is our access token, and then we set our access token to the access token blah blah Helix client. Alright, so let's get rid of this, bring it back, but then this needs to be user IDs, which is a list of string IDs. Just change this around, so whatever my user ID is. Should probably make it so you can query this at runtime. I always get nervous when I start this script. Unreasonably so, but it's because it has all my access keys in it. And that's also why it's not checked into source control. So let's see, where are we at? Discord. So we're able to just roll. There's a 2. Rolled a 2. Let's see. 2021-11-03. So 2052-50. So once it kind of rolls around to the appropriate amount, hopefully it should be fine. Maybe. Please send a message. Discord bot, no. I trusted you. Because I think what will happen is if I just consistently like generate a new OAuth token too often, well, you can generate an OAuth token whatever you want, but I'm trying to not just hammer their servers. Maybe that's okay. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. Hold on. That's tough, man. That's tough. How do I generate an app access token? Please, Discord, you baited me. Okay, well, I'll work on this later, I guess. So in theory, this works. But in actuality, it doesn't. I know what I need to do, which is like just don't use this Helix client. Or maybe it's because of this default, right? Maybe it's because of this default. I don't know. I need like a Go professional to hold my hand here. Not in a lewd way. But like, what happens in this instance? Like if you have a select with a default, so I don't know, let's Google it actually. Go select default. Go select default. What happens? Default select. Tor of Golang. Default case. No other case is ready. Use a default case to try and send a receive without blocking. Receiving from C would block. Sure. Okay, and then we can run this in the remote server. Amazing. Wow. Look at that. How does this work actually? Tick? Time tick? It's not running any tick thing though, right? Boom. Hit. I actually don't know how this works. I see channels misused a lot, so I try not to use too many channels in my own code, because I feel like overusing channels in Golang is pretty tough to understand. But maybe I'm just dumb here, and I am grossly misunderstanding how this works. Hold on, I feel like I'm really close here. I just don't know what exactly is wrong. Also, I don't know why this doesn't immediately kill my Discord bot. So this should be listening for the quit command. So this does cause the bot to immediately disconnect from Twitch chat, yes. And then also we're listening for the exit signal, right? So the exit signal is created via our main function here. And then we just kind of listen for the exit signal. Then here we also just listen for the exit signal. Everyone is just listening for the exit signal to the poll infinitely. What we can do, it's just log, print line, hello, phenomenal, run sh. I want to figure this out really quick. So this should be logging if it's not already. If it's not already logging, that's what it needs to do. Or you know what I also could do is I could block multiple times. Maybe I don't want to block multiple times. Maybe I do want to block multiple times so I can, like, this is already running as a Go routine. So bot runner, which is the runner, is run on its own Go routine, so we can pull infinitely asynchronously. And then we also start our Twitch bot and our Discord bot to run asynchronously. So our Go routine spawns more Go routines. So at this point, we're all in on Go routines, right? Yeah, so this isn't actually pulling, which is kind of tough. Yeah, otherwise it would be logging to the command line or to the terminal, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, you can see here that this log printf actually logs the console. So I'm suspecting that... Are we actually... I wonder if we're like... I actually have no idea where we're even stopping, right? So we can have like a connected to Twitch chat kind of thing, right? So we can log print line connected to Twitch chat. And so that's one of our things that the Twitch bot does. And then the second part is the connection to, we're just pulling for, you know, am I even here? Oh, you know what? I don't have any scopes, but it also doesn't log any errors, but that's probably, that's my bad. That's not probably my bad, it is 100% my bad. Forgot the one to do. So hold on. We do these things not because they are easy, because I thought they would be easy. I thought this would be really quick, but I've now spent like 26 minutes working on this. But hold on. Golang, Godot. It's the same number of letters. Very similar letters used in the name as well, so just bear with me for a little bit. Error getting app access token. So it prints out the error. I feel like the more I write my own kind of Golang, or the more I write like Golang in a non-professional context, the more I like writing it. But like professionally, I feel like a lot of people don't understand how to write Golang. So they write it in like a weird Python Java style. So they have like just like ultra nested directories, and it's this is just Java, but like in Go. But Go doesn't really support like inheritance. Actually, yeah, Golang doesn't. Well, it kind of does, right? So you can compose structs of other structs, and then you'll have access to those, I guess, methods defined on that struct. But it's not really the same thing. What are the scopes I need to have access to? I suppose I should actually try this in Postman before I just start slapping things in, but I won't. Twitch API scopes. Because right now we're apparently we're no scoping the Twitch API. Okay, I'm sorry. But it is true though, because I'm not passing in any scopes. So what scopes do I need? Channel. Can I just have all the scopes? I don't know. Like I don't know. Well, like what scopes can I pass in from the whatchamacallit, the app access token? Oh, no scopes are needed when requesting app access tokens. I'm dumb. Wait, then why does this take a thing of scopes? Is this broken? Is this library just broken? It could be. It could be. Alright. App access tokens. App access tokens. Getting tokens. Authentication. So this is the authentication API. I do love me a good API. It's pretty much my bread and butter. Just working with API, whatever's kind of a pain. So okay, so this is sending it. I don't care. I know how to send it. App access tokens. Appear applications. How do I? Okay. App access tokens. OAuth. Yes. So this is my post request. Okay. Okay. So let's do this all spicy like and not use the Helix client. So we're going off the grid. This will be fun. So this is, I guess this is just like, this isn't Twitch client, but this is, we'll call it, it's still the Helix client technically. Helix client. And then we'll create, this is a new reference to an HTTP client. I don't know. What is a default client? I usually just do this. I've never used default client. I wonder what it does. And then we're sending roughly the same request every single time. Actually, no, we're not. So we do need to grab the app access token beforehand. So this is a post request that uses, yeah, it's just post, but we don't have a body. That's okay. Bodies are for nerds. So we can post to some URL. So we're just gonna directly pass this in. Hold on. Post content type body reader. No, we don't need a reader. But post gives me back a HTTP response. So the response and some sort of error. Here we go. And so so we'll want to format sprint line. Format. Is this how it's called? A string print line, right? Scope. But you don't need You don't need a... You don't need any scopes. You don't need any scopes or app access tokens. Twitch, why? Your docs are garbage. Alright, so this is our client ID. Client ID, boom boom. So we'll just do a little bit of string replacement here. So sprint f, string print f, boom. Hit it with one of these. Okay, so do I have these things just here? So Twitch bot. I should have these. Yeah. So this is the client's ID, stored as an environment variable, injected later. Client's ID, client secrets. Hooray! I also know that it's possible to inject. It's possible to inject variables at compile time, but it's such a pain to do that, right? Not a huge fan of doing that. Alright. So content type. What's my header? What is my header? Oh, I don't know. This is like a HTTP? I don't know. Content type. What is my content type? Please, I don't know what the content type is. It's like www. I don't know. Content type. It's not JSON. It's form data encoded. All right. Application. What's the content types? I never remember content type. Okay, this is content type. Beautiful. Look at that. Then pass in no reader. Readers are for nerds. So if error is not nil. Alright, you know what? Let's actually change my... Fixing my... Discord, my Twitch/Discord bot. Twitch/Discord bot. Hooray! Golang. I like doing my titles like this. It's not really game development, but it's okay. I'll keep the tag on there. I'll be switching back. Never fear. So error is not nil. How do I usually do this? We'll just hit with a log print f, unable to get app access token. This is the error. I'll just print it out like that, right? Return. Otherwise, now we have our response, and then I'll need to read it, which is kind of tough. I'm also referencing my old code, so I've already written this before somewhat, but I took it out because I was trying to use someone else's library for interacting with the Twitch API, but for whatever reason it's not working, so who knows, right? Was it working before? Maybe. If it was failing silently. It might also be this loop, but I think it's not this loop. I think this loop is okay. So let's see. Well, we have a response, right? So response. So our body.error is equal to IOUtil read all. So from response body. Yeah, I think so. Hold on. Response body. Is that not it? No new variables. Alright, that's good. If error is not nil, then we'll hit it with the usual log printf, unable to read app access token response. Gotta love Golang style error handling. My favorites. Oh, and actually, we'll want to do this as well. So, defer response body. Actually, I don't think we'll want to defer this. Since we're infinitely looping, I'll want to close this immediately. So I just need to remember to close the response body close. And then after I actually read the data I need from it, yeah, because the problem is that then we'll just kind of have the response body like left open, right? Usually what you would do is after you send a request, you would hit it with like a defer response body close, like one of these, but with defer in front of it. So defer runs at the very end of the function. It's actually kind of a cool thing to do because it puts all the logic in the same place, but it also can be hard to follow if you overuse it. I don't actually remember, like, what happens if you defer multiple things in Golang in the same function? They all defer at the end, right? But in order of when you deferred them, I think. So you're having a lot of like weird implicit control flow. So is it convenient? Yes. Does it make things hard to read as well? Also yes. So given this, now I have my authorization. Yeah. So now I can create a request. Error is HTTP new request. Method is, it's just a get. Now I'm going to grab all of this stuff as well. So format sprintf. One of these. That's my user ID. So I know that this works, and I hit it with a nil. Is this going to say that there's no new variables? Okay, that's fine. I think it's nice how it just lets you shadow, but at the same time, it is annoying that you can't. I don't know. There's pluses and minuses to doing things like this. So if you are reassigning, then you just have a single equal sign. If you are allocating a new variable, you have to do colon equal sign. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm still on the fence about whether or not I like that system. I think I prefer, I guess, this Java style, but that's because I'm a Java guy. I hate the Python style of variable assignment though. I think that is horrible. Where you just kind of like, you know, oh, here's a new variable, have fun. Now I don't even know if I'm allocating something new or am I reassigning. I have no idea. Java style, you need to specify the type. Whereas Golang, I guess usually you're doing things like this, or at least you're relying directly on the compiler to help you out. Whereas I think Java is more, I don't know actually. Java's just old. Very dependent on IDE. Golang, very dependent on running the compiler over and over again, which on modern systems isn't too bad. And I say this because I know how bad it can be, because that's what I do at work, is work with just horrible Golang with only 9 gigs of RAM. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, right? 9 gigs of RAM. Because I stole one of my gigs of RAM in like an old Xeon processor. I think I only have 2 cores. And so doing Golang development in that environment is horrible. So, oh, you know what? I didn't actually read the body of it yet, right? So I have the body. Now I need to var access token JSON is equal to a map of some sort of string, and then after that it's some sort of interface, right? Let me see. So what does Twitch give me back for the app access tokens? Ooh, nope. Bring me back. What did I do? What did I do? Twitch. Refreshing access token. No, give me this one. So this is the sample request. OAuth client credentials. Okay, so this is just a whatever. Okay, so I just need to access token afterwards. Nice. So what is it? Error is equal to JSON unmarshal, probably. Let me see. JSON unmarshal, so the body, and then app access token JSON. So this unmarshals it to this thing right here, which is a map of strings to interfaces. I'm still actually a little confused as to how interfaces work in Go, but that's okay. What's a little confusion among friends? Printf unable to unmarshal app access token response. It's beautiful. What's your problem? What? Isn't this correct? Missing composite literal? This isn't a composite literal. Am I missing a closing brackets? Am I stupid? Printf. Huh? Excuse me? Oh, if error. Okay, sorry. Just completely mistyped it. How nice. Anyways, after this, it doesn't matter what the error is, but we can always just close the response body just like that. Oh, actually, no, we want to close it here. Yeah. And then after that, we'll have the JSON body. We don't need to check the, well, we probably should check the status code, right? Yeah, because we need to unmarshal it before we can check this. Actually, that's not true. We can do it here. So we do need to read the response, and then we do if response status code is not equal to a 200, then we will log printf bad response. Actually, now I remember why I did this after I unmarshaled it into JSON, is so that I can print out the error, right? Bad response from Twitch app access token. And so we'll just have to string it like so. Well, I think we can just pass in like JSON body, right? And then I think printf should just work. Not sure. But see, all of this is just to get the app access token. Easy. Of course. Why didn't I think of that? So if we don't have a 200, then we'll do this. Otherwise, this is our JSON data, which is equal to, what do you have? Oh, actually, no, you don't have JSON data. You just have access token. So we can have app access token is equal to app access token JSON. Actually, where's JSON body coming from? Oh no, this is from all the way up here. So this is getting the OAuth token. I should probably reuse that client now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I should probably reuse this client. Yeah. Like, what do I even do? Okay. Yeah, so we can reuse this entire client. That's okay. So let's get rid of this. Post it from just the regular clients. App access token is taken from access token. We can just do a blind read here as well, but I do know that you can do an if in the if statement here if you want. I generally don't like to do it, but that's how you do like null safe or nil safe in Golang terms. Nil safe map access is that you would do something like var app access token string. Actually, since I'm writing it out, I could do like that. So you do okay, and then if not okay, something like that. Undeclared name, one of these. So declared not used, and then if it's not okay, then we want to just assume that we weren't able to grab the token. So unable to get app access token from JSON response. I'm pretty sure I know what the error will be, but it's okay. There's our app access token, right? That's how you would do it. Null safe. I do like this, I guess. I just don't use it that often. It's okay. Very okay. Alright, so now HTTP new request. Request header add authorization is this thing here, which is bearer something, and then we just pass in the token as well. So app access token. Look at that. We'll also need to add the client ID, which should be all the way up here. You have an error here as well. Declared, but not used. What do you mean? That's false. Like, this is client. Hold on. Just get rid of that. Or you know what? Since none of this part works, we can get rid of a lot of this and then copy over what we need. So app access token is actually used, but we'll ignore that for now. Twitch will continue to complain about this though, which is annoying. Or not Twitch, Golang. Client ID. Add client ID. I think that's how they do it, yeah. And then just client ID like so. Is this not app access token? This is app access token. Alright. And then here, this is where it gets spicy. Because now we'll have, get rid of this. Comment it out. Our response and error is equal to client do, just our request from up there. And you know what? Let's just do it like this. It's starting to give me a weird error here. Request. Expected Boolean expression. Oh, that's fine. One of these. So we have a response. And then here, I've already written this out before. Okay, so if error is not nil, log prints f unable to pull Twitch stream. One of these. And I think we'll want to return from this function. I think that's okay since we're running this as a Go function. So we just spin up a new Go routine. Right? Yeah. I think that's okay. That's okay. I think this is what we want to do. It's also very possible that I'm misusing the Helix clients, or the Helix libraries. It's tough though. Oh, hello, Needle Mouse. Hello, hello. I've gotten distracted. I was supposed to be working on my GitHub game off thing. Doing some code. Codine? Don't do Codine, kids. It'll ruin your life. How goes the Toho-like game? Is it going well? I'm trying to fix my Twitch bot. Because it used to give me go live notifications, but I don't know why it's not working anymore. I'm making the bullets for the game. Nice. Hooray for art. So a word of advice is that it's slightly better when you're working with things, especially in like programs that don't have, I guess, explicit UIs. So Godot, you can toggle on and off collision, but for Haxel Flixel, right? There's not really is there an editor for Haxel Flixel? I don't think so, right? It's usually better to go with big, obvious shapes initially, just so you know where the hitboxes are, or to make it more obvious what things are. And then after you have everything working, that's when you plug in the art. So for things that are very collision based, it's better to have obvious shapes. Well, that's actually kind of what I'm doing with code. It makes you feel, I think it's cooler initially, but I'm not considering that this is what I do for work, I'm kind of over just looking at text all day. I like being able to see what I'm working with. That might just be a me thing. Yeah, I like having the immediate feedback, whereas right now, the problem is I don't have any feedback. I have to wait about 60 seconds. I could reduce the countdown, but it doesn't really make a huge difference, right? Since we do need to also wait for everything to spin up as well. So that's pretty painful. IMO. Hey, but to each their own. I think if you're able to do everything via code and you have like a good framework set up that you know how to use, then that's, you know, that's fantastic. It's really, really good. Pretty much ideal. An ideal scenario is when you make your own framework and then you know how it all works. It's probably a bit more efficient than a visual workflow. I think that goes with a lot of tooling. So for example, you know, if you're working with container management systems like Docker or whatever, is it faster to do it via the command line or the terminal? Yes. But if you're not really sure what you're doing, you could just use the UI. Using the UI means that you're not able to really do any scripting, which is unfortunate. But on the other hand, it also means you're more sure of what you're doing as well. It allows you to verify what things are actually happening, which is nice. Res body close. JSON body, some sort of map. String interface. One of these. This is pretty much exactly what I was doing above, just for yet another request. So body, oh, you know what? I forgot to do this. This needs to be a reference to the to the app access token. So a reference to it. So we're actually able to change the variable. I think that's one of the few mistakes that would really get me. The difference between a reference to something or just using the value for something. So print unable to unmarshal JSON response. Now, if you're saying, is this exactly what you wrote above? Answer is yes. But this is how you have to do things in Golang. So we have the body, and then we can do response, body, close. So we can assume if we just fail our request over and over again, that we are probably offline anyways, because Twitch's APIs are also down. So there's a lot of assumptions that I'm making, probably not great assumptions, and you know what they say about assumptions. We'll not repeat it here. Let's see. I guess I could just defer. Actually, here I could defer response body close, right? So we'll do defer res body close, because this is a function that will actually return. So that's okay. So if response status code is not a 200, then we'll want to do more logs. Bad response from user endpoints. And then also is offline counter plus equals 1. Nice. Then data is equal to JSON body data. All right, and this is where it gets kind of weird. So this was working before. I don't remember how it works though. So this is somewhat spicy. If length of data is equal to 0, then is offline switch counter plus equals 1. Otherwise, you'll do all of this stuff, I think. I think that's good, maybe. So comment all of this out, just so we can go back to the Helix code later. So we'll go to run.sh. Now we're using the new stuff. Hopefully we don't error out really hard. So if I type into chat, it's unrecognized. So now we have 2 Twitch bots, by the way, connected to chat, which is wrong, I think. Yeah, okay. So something is broken. That's good. That's good. Is Twitch, or is my bot... Excuse me. Hopefully my bot actually works. Like, I don't care how it works, as long as it... We can fix this, I guess this bug where it doesn't actually disconnect itself properly. That's fine. We can figure that out. Value of error is never used. That's true. I'm waiting for it though. So bot is running. Or is it some... You know what? Is it because... you know what? Is it because of this thing? So this kind of infinitely pulls. Is that how that works? So we can open up the package and see what this does. Okay. That's kind of a pain. That's how that works, doesn't it? Yeah. So I would need to... Sorry, I like stopped. It's like I lost like swallow control. So I started breathing in and out. That was weird. Started breathing in and out my own spit. That was bizarre. Probably not having a stroke though, so that's the good news. All right, but that's what's happening here, is that this is running in an infinite loop, so we never actually hit any of this stuff. So let's just undo. I think the Helix client will work, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. Now that I've actually checked how this works. Hooray for really long undo chains. Just do this. We don't need any of this. We can just reuse the Helix client stuff. So I know that there's a few things I changed as well. I don't remember what they were though. Alright, so we're back to this. Helix clients. This probably will work. And by this, I mean this thing right here, response. What I need to do is I need to run this on a Go routine, right? Can I do that? How do I run this on a, like as a Go routine, huh? Run, so like Golang, run, function as Go routine. Go routine. Go routines, concurrency, blah blah. Yeah, okay. So this doesn't really help. Maybe I'm like looking for the wrong things. So Go routines, yes, but then how do you call a function that returns a value? The lightweight thread managed by the Go runtime. Yeah. But this returns an error. Golang, Go routine function return value. Yes, return value, yes. Catching return values from Go routines. They run asynchronously. Oh, is it? I have to use a channel if I want to do that kind of stuff. So I suppose I could just do this, right? So we would do like Go Twitch client connect, and then just discard the return value, I suppose. Oh, what am I doing? One of these. I guess that's okay. We can stop this thing. Is my bot still in chat? Or is it like super broken? Roll. Alright, my bot is still in chat. It disconnected properly once, but I don't know what's going on with the other stuff. Golang is also, or Godot is still running, by the way. So. No. Hello, Minefields. Yes, that is my bot. It works, but actually, wait a minute. I don't see anything. It's my Replit. My Replit started again. That's why it's in chat multiple times. Please don't get me banned, Replit. Don't get me blacklisted from Twitch chat. Thank you very much. All right, so this should not work anymore. Hooray. But if you do want to run some of the commands, I do have a Discord and all the other stuff. Let me see. Right now the commands are all hard-coded, but I do have this integrated with Cobra, which is a Golang CLI library that it used to be integrated with before I updated pretty much everything. So then I had to hard code everything once again. But that's on the update list. It's on the list. All right, but let's see. I think this should be okay. So we can do hit it with a run.sh. If you want to look at the code is available here. Let's just grab this direct. Actually, I don't think I need to grab it directly anymore. So if we type in help, we can hit it with a repo. There's the repo. Everything is free and open source available there. How nice. All right, so please ping stream info if you would be so kind, bot. Bot is running. It does take about a minute. I should lower the rates, or I guess the wait time. Actually, hold on. Is this correct? Connected to Twitch chat, yes. Then we call hello. So we're running this, and then we run this in a Go function, or a Go routine, an anonymous function. I think this is okay. The only thing I'm worried about is this part here. I might need to change it to use my user ID as opposed to my user login. Although my user login is TeamUwin, by the way. Yeah, there we go. Imagine that my my username is actually my username. Yeah, there's my Discord. Everything works. Discord is integrated with /commands, etc., etc. There's a lot of garbage in the GitHub repo for this bot since it was refactored somewhat recently. Look at that. I really should sig fig the uptime, but I'm not going to. Alright, just in case you're a bot yourself, you can check. Down to 3, 6, 7 significant figures. Alright, I don't think the bot's working, by the way. Or it is working, but it's not doing any of the stuff it should. Yeah, there's the overlay, by the way. Look at it go. This is written in Godot. Also, this face tracker, also written by me, also written in Godot. Supports VRM models. I don't think that this is actually loaded in the bot commands. Look at that. And actually this thing, actually, did that work, by the way? I don't remember. Sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, okay, the overlay works. Nice. Very nice. I always get kind of worried because sometimes I just get booted from chat for whatever reason. I think I know why, but it's always hard to say. Yeah, okay, so this isn't working. So let's switch this back to how I think things used to work. So we'll use the user ID as opposed to my user login. I don't know why. User login doesn't really work. I also don't want to try it out in Postman, just live on stream, just in case I expose things I shouldn't. No. What I was supposed to do today was work on my GitHub game off thing while we're waiting for the bot to warm up. All right, so we have, I guess, Pokemon style movement. Although I guess it's a bit looser than Pokemon style movement because you can move in 2 directions at once. But that's okay. So hooray. Tile-based movement, debounces correctly. The idea for the GitHub game off stuff is yeah, it's kind of floaty, but we'll get around to it. We'll get around to it. But the theme for the GitHub game off is bug So the idea is I'll make a kind of like a Final Fantasy-esque kind of game, battle system. But the big twist is that your character is, I guess, initialized improperly in the game world, so no one can really remember your character, and I think that there's some cool stuff you could do with that. I guess the most obvious one, right, is like if your character doesn't really exist, I guess like it's kind of meta, it's kind of a meme kind of game. Like if your character doesn't exist, then they will, you know, you fight monsters, and you have a party, of course. Your party knows who you are, and I think one of the cool things that would be possible is like if any characters ever leave your party, then they just forget who you are, and when they come back, and you can have like relationship stats and whatever. So there's some, I guess, some interesting mechanics you get into there. Philosophical, yeah. Isn't that one of the things? Is like if you make your mark on history, then you will basically live forever. It's one of those kind of things. Alright. I really need to learn how to use the Golang debugger. But I think there's too many threads. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 to 5 threads running at any single time. So that's slightly tough. So the Twitch stuff is working. It's just this part that's not working, but I'm not sure why. So I can see that it's printing hello every few minutes. Actually, every minute on the dot, which is nice. So once it ticks over to 2148, it should be good. But I'm not getting any error prints either. So I wonder if it's this thing here, if this data that it's getting back is wrong. Yeah. By the way, if you randomize your minion, it is purely random, as in you can get the same minion over and over again. I do make actual games though, if you are somewhat new here. I do have an itch.io page. So a lot of the animals are from my Ludum Dare submission. There we go. Just drop that link in the chat. Giant Horse Death Ball, which you can play free and open source. Has a HTML5 build. How neat. Notice that in your info. Oh baby. People actually read the info. It's pretty pog, as they say. Alright. One last thing. Data. No data. And then we'll just rely on this thing here. Hopefully that should be okay. What is your problem? Format streams a wrong type. Log prints F format has arg streams of wrong type. So how do you print F? Golang prints F array. How to print the value of slices? It's just V, huh? Alright. So there's the bot. Say hello to the bot. Bot's back up. What other things are there? Oh, you know what? Yeah. Okay, so there's no joke thing running as well. There used to be a joke command. Actually, no, there is a joke command, but I need to like abstract it out. So Discord actually handles joke commands as well. I also programmed in my own reaction rules thing, which is absolutely not worth it. But I need to abstract out like this anti-spam thing into like a to the common package so that both Discord and Twitch can use the same libraries. Similarly for like a lot of the other integrations as well. So like for getting jokes in Discord, it works almost the same way. T count. Indeed. It's not untrue. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Aren't there are just natural foods that you can eat that enhance your T count, I think. No data. Okay, so that's interesting. I wonder if it's one of the params. Yeah. I remember that I was reading just a Reddit post, right? It was like, you know, like time I effed up, and it's like went through this long story of how this person's grandma would you know, how they cooked was just boiling stuff in water. And so they would go over to their grandma's to eat pretty much every week, right? Every like Sunday or something. And so one time this guy had the unfortunate happenstance of mentioning that he liked to eat chicken skin, right? And of course, it's not boiled chicken skin, it's fried chicken skin, right? So fried chicken has the crunchy skin, you know what I'm saying? But his grandma's like, oh, okay. That's fantastic. So instead of just feeding him like just boiled chicken, she would actually just feed him boiled chicken skin. Not even any, none of the meat, just the chicken skin. And since he didn't want to disappoint his grandma, he would just kind of smile and eat it. Which is just disgusting, just absolutely horrendous. And then later on, when he started to grow up, he started to grow out, you know, mammary glands, started getting pretty big, you know. Went to the doctor, and as it turns out, at that point in time, I think it was in Mexico or something, a lot of the chicken feed that they would give chickens would cause the chickens, well, it would stimulate, if you were to eat the chicken skin, it would stimulate what's the opposite of testosterone? What's the other one? It's testosterone and estrogen, yeah. And so because he had eaten so much, he had ingested so much estrogen as a kid because he just ate chicken skin like a ton of chicken skin like every Sunday when he was growing up. Kind of went through a transition. I was like, that's crazy. Imagine getting like accidentally transitioning when you were a kid because you didn't want to disappoint your grandma. It's just bizarre. Also good to know. I didn't know that was possible. Like if you, I would have thought it would have been like a very inconsequential amount, or at least something that would like reverse itself at some point. But no, turns out if you eat it when you're young enough, it just messes you up. Streams. I was gonna tell sorry, my grandfather always feeding me milk boiled liver. Milk boiled liver? No hormone stories attached. I've eaten a lot of boiled food in my day as well. My mom isn't really much of a cook. My dad can cook, but my, you know. Good streams, first 2 streams. Wow, I remember that for a while I used to eat a lot of just boiled, it's not boiled I guess, it would be steamed salmon, but it's like steamed in the microwave. So if you put like a little, you know, a little raised tray over like a little plate of water, and of course, you can't use a metal tray, so you just basically just use chopsticks. And that's how I ate a lot of fish when I was a kid. I don't know if that's weird or not, though. That might be like a normal thing. Because it's easy, right? Like, you don't even need to use a different pan or whatever. All you gotta do is chopsticks in, a little bit of water on the bottom, nuke it in the microwave, and bam, fully cooked fish. I guess you don't even need to add, you know, water at the bottom, right? I guess you could just put fish on a plate. I think the consistency gets a bit weird if you don't add like additional water, though. You can steam dumplings that way too. Yeah. Like, you can cook a lot of things in the microwave. A surprising amount of things in the microwave. What other things are in stream params? User IDs. Hey, is this not what I'm using, by the way? Hey, get streams. Streams. This is the endpoint I was using, right? Yeah, streams, user IDs. I don't need to look for... I don't need to look for type, because it defaults to all. So why is it... We can see here that this is getting no data, which is interesting. Do I need to... Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of microwaving stuff, though. I think I used to be more into microwaving stuff when I was in school, and I used to be a lot more lazy, but I don't know. I think things just taste a little better if you just, you know, a little bit of oil in a pan, heat it up that way. Or even just using the oven, you know. If you have a modern oven, you can have it rapid preheat. It's a bit more work, but it tastes like twice as good. Microwaving things, ugh. I've used the coffee machine to cook food. Cook food? I've never done that before. I've used the coffee machine to make ramen before, which was a bit weird because it wasn't how you think I did it. I put the bowl of water like under the coffee machine, just kind of let the hot water drip onto it, and I swear, if you do it correctly, it actually tastes better that way. It's because you kind of like incrementally steam it. I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but I did it for a while. I think it makes more sense just to use the coffee machine as like a weird kettle. But you could do that. I don't know how you would make food with a coffee machine though, without just absolutely destroying the rest of your stuff. I guess you would slow cooking hot dogs. That's weird. That's weird, man. Do you need a wellness check? Slow cooking hot dogs. All right, let's turn off this bot. So I actually have two. Well, the stream overlay is actually linked to my regular accounts. How nice. And then this bot is linked to my bot accounts. Let's see, 15 years ago. That's fair enough. Fair enough. Why isn't this working? So this is indeed working properly. I can see that it's printing out hello, and it's also printing out the no data, but I'm wondering why it's not giving me any data. There must be a good reason for this. It must be something with the access scopes I'm requesting. So we do Twitch API scopes. I don't really eat too many hot dogs nowadays. Hot dogs, pretty alright. Pretty alright. Low tier food, IMO. Unless you're getting like the I guess at that point they're not really hot dogs, right? Like a Polish sausage or whatever. Those are pretty sick. What scope do I need to hit get streams? By the way, so if you go to Twitch API, it doesn't tell you which scopes you need. So the reference, get channel, there's like streams, get streams. So what scope? So you need an app access token. Example request. Well, I don't know what scopes I need, huh? Response fields, no. I know this works with an OAuth token. And this isn't giving me any errors either. I'm trying to avoid printing the app access token to the console while I'm streaming at the very least. Although I guess I could bring this offline so that I don't accidentally reveal it, or not bring it offline but switch to another view. Basically this view, right? So stream intro with tracking, and then now you can see that I'm just an anime girl with the bottom half cut off. Not too much I can do about that, actually. Actually, I guess I could, right? So if I went to here and then zoomed this out and then just kind of adjusted the position manually in OBS, then that would work. I don't know. So I know this has worked before though. But maybe the app access token is not a bearer token. There should be a bearer token though. Yeah, it's a token type bearer. Here we do the set app access token, access token, access token. Yeah. Or is it because it doesn't have access to Discord? Is that possible? Let me see. So we're connected to Twitch chat. Right, you can hit it with the help. Don't remember if I got kicked from here. I did get kicked from here. This happens sometimes. So we'll kill that. Yeah, from what I gather, sometimes you'll just get kicked from Twitch chat. And I think I do need to implement like the reconnect command. I think that's why sometimes I'll just lose connection. So let's cheat. Bring this back in. And then in bot controller, bot playground, we'll use joke, tell me a joke. All right, so this works. And then I'm also able to do this, which is like admin command ping Twitch and Discord ping like that. Look at that. So that works. Other things don't quite work. So this is the correct app access token. It must have something to do with the access scopes then. But I don't know which scope I need in order to read get streams. So get info about streams. So it's something about the scoping, but I don't know which scope I need. Does it tell me which scopes I need? Scopes. Why? So Twitch API. To see a comprehensive list of all the Twitch API endpoints, including those that do not require scopes, the API reference, that's what I was just looking at. Does it tell me which scopes I need? I would think that like getting like this, right? Oh, okay, required scope. So, maybe I'm just not able to get an app access token? also do like how they're using curl. I guess most people do run the... You wouldn't want to run a Twitch bot locally, like on your Windows machine, right? So if you're writing bots, you're probably firing them up from some sort of a Linux instance. Gotta get that, what is it? Linux is, whatever. Free to use, etc., etc. Suppose I should be more excited about using Linux, but I don't know. Like, I work for a big Linux company, but they're all tools in the end. Yeah, I don't need like any of these. Yeah, because this doesn't use a scope. Get streams. So authorize. Oh, you know, did I spell bearer wrong? Is it because I'm unauthorized? That might be it. No, because should be sending this with an app access token. So that should take care of pretty much all of this, right? So set app access token. So it has a mutex. App access token. Oh, hello. Does Go have constant evaluated fold expressions? What is a fold expression? Also, the music is kind of loud. Yeah, that does happen. My mixing on some of these songs is pretty bad. What is it? What's the constant evaluated fold expression? Fold expression. Are you saying, like, does Golang have... Can you evaluate a constant? I don't know. I don't think you can. It's like I write Golang professionally, but most of the time it's just like untangling other people's garbage and then adding my own compile time fold expressions. I still don't know what a fold expression is. Let's Google it. Fold expression. Oh, it's a C++ thing. Ooh. Ooh. C++ is very scary to me. Can I write it? Yes. I would not trust myself to do any complicated C++ stuff, though. What is a fold expression? This is actually the first time I've heard of a fold expression as well. I do know like a constant expression. I do know what those are. Those are like evaluated at compile time, right? Explanation, right? Fold. Excuse me. What is this? So probably not. Probably not. Would be my guess. I think if you wanted like constant generation, you would need to do like actual code generation and then run that through the Go compiler. I like Go because it's easier. It's just easier to write. You get lightweight, you get threading for basically free. It has a garbage collector, of course, but I don't know. I don't really care. Static reflection. Static reflection. There is runtime reflection. I don't know if there's static reflection. But the applications that I usually write aren't super performance intensive anyways. At least for work. This was supposed to be a game dev stream, but my bot's broken. I don't know why. It is just running, but it's not getting any data from Twitch because Twitch's API is super strange. Although it might be something with how I'm passing in my user ID here. Yeah, I think I do eventually need to start educating myself on maybe not C++, right? Like I'm technically also employed as a Rust developer. So that's mostly just macros and a lot of that stuff where modifying your build files. So you're using a library. Yeah, well, see, I actually had this running just as like raw HTTP calls. But that was a bit difficult, right? It was a bit difficult. Why was it difficult? I actually don't remember why it was a bit difficult, but it was. So that's why I changed to using a library. So I do know what I'm getting back, right? I'm getting no data, which makes sense. However, I am live. So the problem is I need to figure out what this is calling, but I know what this is calling, right? Many streams, params, c gets, and so this is just a client. Actually, this is not what I was expecting. C client. Is this an HTTP client or just a client? What client is this? You do not want to be a Rust dev? Well, it's too late. Too late. Technically, I do everything, right? So I'm like the fullest stack developer professionally. So do front end, do back end, do infrastructure, do CI/CD. Mostly because I'm a consultant, so we do all that kind of stuff. So get and post it. Well, yeah, it's HTTPS. Yeah, it's some sort of Rust thing. You know what? We can go back. We can go back to how I had this before. So this is the important part. So we do need to run the Twitch clients. So this is a Twitch IRC client. I don't want to implement the IRC stuff myself because that's painful. You want to see some perfect C++ 20 code? I can write some perfect C++ 20 code for you right now, if I can remember it. So I need to import standard. How do we do hello world in C++ 20? That will compile every time. K-math. Is that like is this like a meme? Or is it's an actual library with a lot of CSS? What is this? Oh, it's a doxygen. Okay. Neat. Oh geez, what the heck? No, this is the compiled output. I don't know. I don't do any C++. I've written a C++ module for Godot, but all that really was ripping out some internal engine components so that they'll be included at runtime. But then I also do not need to include the entire engine with all binaries because that can be painful as well. All right. So here we go. Let's go back. Let's go back, and we'll just use the clients that I defined all the way up here. The Helix client doesn't appear to be doing what I think it's doing. So here we grab I'm using the client to grab a new OAuth token for my TwitchBot user. So we can reuse that client to do one of these. Clients, I think we can just post, and then I need to bring up the API documentation once again. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Rust is kind of overhyped, but who cares? I don't know Golang. Line 177. So defer, what that does is it just waits until the very end of the function. So whenever you hit a return, it will run whatever was deferred in order. So I'm pretty sure you can defer multiple times. You do not want to overuse defer. Yeah, I think if my bot is still running, yeah. So technically you can just check out the code yourself. Free and open source. How nice. Yeah, defer is nice if you use it sparingly. The problem is that lots of people don't use it sparingly, so it's kind of a pain to work with. sometimes. But since it's mostly me writing this code, or it's not mostly me, it's entirely me writing this code. So that's fine. So this is client ID, client secret. Pass in content type, which is, I had this pulled up. Strange, because I think that closes the socket. A bit confusing. Yeah, well, the idea here is that you have pretty much all your concerns grouped together in the same place, as opposed to, you know, you'll connect at the very top and then you'll need to remember at the very bottom to close the socket. Whereas here, all you really need to worry about is, oh, we connected, and then just we're disconnecting later. So Do doesn't have, oh, I used to remember what this is called. RAII, acquisition is initialization. I don't know, right? I have my hands in too many languages. I always get confused. I feel like you could Google that though. I don't know. Post. Okay, we'll call a destructor at the end of the scope. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think one of the big things is that Go is garbage collected. So it tries to do a lot of the smart stuff for you. And also it does, like, it. Hopefully it would, but I know that for a lot of other things you'll want to manually call just close. So for example, whenever you're reading response bodies, you'll want to close them like that. Why? I don't know. That's just what the example does. That's just what the example does. Content type form data, yes. What is it called? Pretty sure we want to send this. All right, my formatting is all messed up, but just ignore that. All right, hold on. Yeah. Where are you like this? Nice font though. Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm using some fonts. Don't remember. It's one of them. Could probably actually check it by doing, what is it? It's this button. Yeah, I'm using Fira code. Yeah. I do like being able to customize my stuff, as opposed to whereas at work, right? So I do write a decent amount of Golang at work as well, but on a VDI, a virtual desktop. So virtual Windows desktop with like a second generation Xeon, dual core, very low clock speed because it is Xeon, and 9 gigs of RAM because they stole one of my gigs. And then I have to deploy onto a Linux server, so we're now like, we're 2 layers deep. So you could pretty much give me anything at this point, and I think it'd be pretty okay. You could give me a lot of things. Also, we're not using the response body from this. So response, error. One thing I do dislike about Golang is that its error handling is kind of garbage, but that's also actually the same thing, or the same way for Godot, which is my game engine of choice, because Godot does the JavaScript thing and then just kind of tries to ignore the error. My boss said we could create an order for a bit nicer setup. 4 screens won't help if I can't use them properly. Imagine having more than 1 screen. Well, I guess I work as a consultant anyways, right? So it's like, we actually get, well, professional consultant. So for a big Linux company, right? One of the big open source ones. I'll let you make your own decision as to which one that is. But I don't know. It's like if you work too fast, then you kind of lose out on billable hours. Even though we're not working time and materials, it's just fixed rate. You know, it's one of those things that, like, you know, if you're giving like your daily stand up and you're like, oh, I did this yesterday, and then no blockers, it's like, You're not getting the full value. They want to feel assured, so then you have to expand one sentence out until have access to it. You gotta massage your updates, as bad as that sounds, right? And in the same way, you can't finish your work too fast. So even if you do work super fast, you know, even if using, you know, a few more monitors would really help my productivity, it's like, we don't really need to be that productive, right? Just get it done faster than the clients, people, and you're good. Bump the commits. No. Actually, we do that as well. We do that. We have a lot of commits. Fortunately, we're not rated on lines of code written. That would be horrible. I hate it when that's a metric, right? So body error is equal to IOUtil read all response body. It's not nil. Limited something lines of code ends up generating worse codes, from my experience. What is SLOC? I only know LOC. Yeah, no, I think for a lot of companies, a lot of these bigger companies especially that aren't, I guess, tech, right? I work source lines of code. I guess that implies that you use code generation, right? That makes sense, that you would want to count the source lines instead of the generated code. Yeah, no, like I work for big banks, so I specialize technically in fintech, but the usual response to, oh, we have a problem, right, is to throw more people at it, so as long as we can get it done with less people, the client's happy, boss is happy, we're all okay. Oh, and I remember, I should just defer, I guess. So defer, response, body, close. Oh no, but because I'm going to be reusing this, so I don't want to do this. I do need to close this at some point explicitly. I think that's how that works. Hate IR. IR? What's IR? There's so many acronyms. I'm sorry, I'm missing a lot of acronyms because the brain is overloaded with acronyms, right? Instant response. So body is this. Read all, then var JSON body. To be completely transparent, I'm actually just kind of copying over my code from my previous implementation. But I can't just copy and paste because it doesn't actually map one-to-one. JSON body error. It's not nil. And of course, once I finish this up and I can get something working, this will be pushed to my GitHub. It's not super easy to get it up and running though, because a lot of the values are still kind of hard-coded. I've tried to have the README reflect that there's some environment variables you need to set, but I think for things like checking the channel or like Discord channels as well, as those are all kind of hard-coded right now. So it'd be nice to have a config file. That would be, you know, it reads in the main entry points, reads in all the stuff, and then we're able to, you know, just pull those at runtime, or even just like have it read it in at compile time as well. When unmarshalling data, did I spell that right? Yeah. Error. So response body close and then return. So I'm gonna help you figure it out. Good night. Thanks for hanging out, print up. Appreciate you hanging out in chat. Take it easy. Apologies for not being more productive, but I wasn't planning on just working on this, but I got distracted. I noticed my stream notifications weren't working, so I decided to just... I hoped it would be a really quick fix, but as it turns out, it wasn't. Is not a 200, then we'll do log print f. Let's see. Bad response from user, or no, from app access token endpoint. So close this. Well, I think at this point, after we unmarshal it, right, we can just do this as well, because we're not using anything from the body anymore. So return. All right, so now we have our JSON body, and then this is the return value from Twitch, which is just access token. No nonces, so nothing to check there. This is the app access token. We'll just do a blind assign because I'm lazy. JSON body. What was it called? Access token. Should really make that a constant. I don't really like having these just be random strings, but we'll do it in version 2. So app access token, right? And then now we'll want to generate a request. So that's our access token, right? So now our request error HTTP new request. So this will be a get request format sprintf. We'll just grab all of this as well. So I've written this before, as mentioned about 1,000,000 times. That's my channel ID, my user ID. For some reason, it doesn't work when I pass in my real channel ID, or I guess my channel login name. No new variables because I'm reusing some stuff. If error is not nil, then we'll do printf unable to create streams request, prints out the error, and they'll probably just want to exit as well. Then request header, add authorization, format sprint f. This is a bearer token. I think there's something wrong with the Helix client. I think that's, or the Helix library, but I'm not sure what. I think inevitably, once anything gets far enough along, it becomes really hard to figure out the application flow. And also, I guess, because I'm not like a dedicated Go developer, I just know how to write it because it deploys to more places than Python, right? Because Python, you need the Python interpreter. Whereas Golang can compile down to, you know, just compiles to a binary. Very nice. So this is good. Here is where we need to start doing things differently. So pretty much just grab all of this, say goodbye. So response error is equal to client do request, then if error is not nil, we'll do log print f error when polling Twitch stream, print out the error, and then we'll see how it goes. Oh, and also we should return from the go function. We won't return from the, I guess, the infinite loop. Is offline switch counter plus equals 1. Nice. Then body error. So I'm just reusing 1,000,000 variables once again. So response body if error is not nil. Hooray for no try catch as well. It's in things like this when I'm not using a library because, I don't know, the library is not quite working out for me. I really start to hate Go's error handling. It's like a try catch would just work so much better here, right? Like pretty much just try to do this and then we'll catch it later. Because we can just kind of assume that it doesn't work. Hey. So let's hit it with a defer. Response body close. Well, yeah. And we'll do var response. Well, this is polling JSON streams. Stream JSON, which is a map of strings to some sort of interface. And I remember I was doing some weird stuff here. Unmarshal the body into the reference of stream JSON. So if error is not nil, if error is not nil, unable to unmarshal JSON response, and then we'll just print out the error. Oh, so much repeating myself, man. I'm sure I could, I guess, wrap that up into a little helper function, but I still need to do like a manual error check every single time. So if response status code is not 200, might be recognizing some of this code as well. It's very similar to getting the app access token. Error is offline. Let's see, so data is equal to stream JSON data, and then we'll cast it to an interface. An array, it's not an array, it's a slice of interfaces. Nice. So if length of data is equal to 0, and is offline switch counter plus equals 1. And then I guess we can also just log, right? So log printf here no data value, and then we'll just pass in data like that, and then let Golang figure out what exactly it should be doing there. Otherwise, else, yeah, if not is live, then we'll do all this stuff. Yeah, okay. Copy and paste. Seems a bit wrong. There we go. I think that's okay. So let's stop this. We can stop printing to master. Hopefully this actually exited itself as well. There we go. So let's hit it with a run. See where we're going. Also, I do need to, or I should do this. Switch back to the duck. There we go. That's me. Oh, actually, this is gonna break, right? Because there's an error. Yeah. So JSON body redeclared in this block. Okay, so this is app token, app access token JSON. Well, you know what? We can just reuse it, right? We can just reuse JSON body. Yeah, okay. All right, so we're connected to chat. Now we're waiting. I'll be right back while I wait. Hello, I'm back. Let me see. 2235, or no, 2235, 28. Did it work? No. We're waiting for it. It didn't really do anything, which is kind of tough. But it's also not printing anything out either. Did I mess something up? So this is in a Go routine, right? And it's just kind of calling itself. And at the very end, it sets it's switchable to 2. So what we're doing, to just reiterate to myself as well, is we kind of block. We run, so Twitch bot is running in a Go routine, right? Boom, boom. So this is the Discord bot, this is the Twitch bot. Ignore the naming for now. And so Go routines will usually stop once they hit the end of the function, but doing it this way, now we infinitely loop, then we select, which means we kind of wait until we either receive message on a channel or we hit the default. So this is the default, is switchable, is true. Print hello. And that should be good. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, I think it's fixed. Hooray. Look at that. Now I just need to wait a bit more, or maybe like it just doesn't maybe it just doesn't fire all that often. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things it could be. Like a few of the problems as well are that Twitch's API is kind of unreliable. So sometimes, like, that's why I had to build in this thing here, like a switch counter, because sometimes it just won't give me a good response. Sometimes the API will just fail. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that could go wrong, but I think that this is fine for now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kill the bot. Everyone who is currently subscribed to stream notifications will get pinged once again, but that's okay. I think that's okay. So we can go here, FP bots. What's the diff? All right, so we're not using Helix anymore. That's okay. Git commit. So, I don't know, we'll fix stream notifications by using an app access token instead. Look at that. Do you see how fast I was able to type in, like, I think that's 20 characters. I have that stuff on lock. Ooh. How is he so good? All right, now we'll pull the latest stuff. So I have all of this also running in Replit, right? So hopefully this should work. So we'll start this. I'll also turn this on so it's like an always on application. How nice. So we're connected to Twitch chat. We can hit it with the help. Only fires once. It does take a little bit longer for the Discord stuff to fully fire, but I think we should be good. We should be good. You know, there's admin command. So we go to Discord, bot playground. You can use admin command. And of course, this is, it does a check beforehand whenever you run an admin command. And you can see here that only admins can use this command. So you have to be in the admin role. Bots also do not listen to themselves. or the bot. So let's see, what is it called? It's ping Twitch. Hooray, Discord ping. Why would you ever want to do this? I'm not sure, but you totally can. And there's the stream notifications thing. So hopefully that's not too bad. Rolls bot. There's only 2 people subscribed, so it's okay. Just get pinged, son. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, you can find the bot code in the repo there. Look at that. Push to master. You will need to adjust several things in the bot as well if you want to use it for yourself. Right. So relies on several environment variables. So pretty much all of these, if you want to check what all the environment variables are, it'll be in package, and then you'll need to look at Discord and Twitch. Discord command will be going away. That's just things that need to be cleaned up. But I have not cleaned it up for whatever reason. Right? And I do intend on also breaking out just more things into maybe not environment variables, but just like a config file instead, since there's a bunch of environment variables to actually configure now. Right? So you have your Twitch user, which I used to use. I don't remember what I'm using instead of it anymore. Your Twitch user, Discord, GitHub, refresh token, client ID, client secrets. You know, there's a bunch of things that need to be configured. So at this point in time, I'd probably need to make a resource folder. I don't know. What's the Golang the Golang standard? I think it is just calling it like a resource, like res. Drop some JSON in there or YAML, whatever you want. I think I used to be more into YAML until I started having to do like huge YAML config files, and now I'm like, YAML kind of sucks. YAML kind of reminds me of Ruby, where like a lot of things are valid, which I strongly dislike. It's like, here, you can write a string, you know, one of like 5 million different ways. Like, I just want to have a string. Just tell me what the way is. I don't care. How do I do a multi-line string? You know, I think one of the big benefits that YAML has over JSON though is that you can have comments in YAML, which is nice. You know, I think there's a lot of instances where I'm like, man, I wish I could like comment this like JSON config file. It's just something you can't do in JSON, because JSON doesn't support it unless you use like a superset of JSON or something, right? Or like a JSON pre-processor, which would just be bizarre. Yeah, I do need to remix my music. Anyways, that's that. Define all of these stuffs. You'll also need to go through package and all of these and change. I think a lot of the channel names are like, so receive data, that a lot of that is hard coded as well. So you need to change these. Let's see. I think commands, a few of these are hard coded. Yeah, so these are like admin commands. Here's some constants. Yeah. There are some like cool things though, in my opinion, which might not count for a lot, to be fair. Yeah. Might not count for a lot. But if you want to do it, you know, has a few examples for just making random HTTP requests. So pretty much the only HTTP request for Discord is like telling a dad joke, which I'm into. Reaction roles, these are also all hard-coded, which is a bit tough, but you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. And I have an idea for, I guess, like you don't need, at least in Discord, you won't need any config file, or you won't need a database. And then this is just me trying to avoid using a database at all costs, right? So you could just use a channel and then store bot data there. So here's a test of using bot data, by the way. So this is my database now. This is my NoSQL database, which is just a list of data that we need to run through. So my idea here is, so like for reaction rules and all that, you would, or even like, you know, some of this command stuff, you would just have your data stored in a private channel that only you and the bot can look at. And maybe I'll make it even so like, you know, this is just JSON, or like even like something like an INI file basically, right? So it reads line by line and figures out, you know, just reads the configuration from there. So you don't even need to have like any environment variables for a lot of this stuff. Or you don't need to make any modifications to the bot code. It'll just work when it goes into your Discord. Although, to be fair, I'm actually not sure how the bot works with other bots work, right? I know CarlBot's pretty popular. I've never used it though. I've tried to emulate the functionality as best I can. Maybe CarlBot uses a private channel to store its data as well. Or maybe it just has a really big database. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is against TOS though in Discord. I think it's okay since I'm not reading or writing to it very often. But yeah, you know. /commands. Hooray. You know. How do you steal a coat? You jack it. A doll was recently found dead in a rice paddy. It's the only known instance of a knick-knack paddywhack. That's actually pretty good. Actually, no, it's not, but I like it anyways. Leather is great for sneaking around because it's made of hide. Some of these are pretty good, I think. Some of these are pretty good. A man walked into a bar with some asphalt on his arm. He said, 2 beers, please. 1 for me and 1 for the road. That's kind of a snoozer. It's kind of a snoozer. Anyways, let's pivot with like 10 minutes to go. So we'll pivot to our GitHub game off stuff. So this is where we're at. This is actually the most efficient way to do it, by the way. Unhandled input. Because input events, I believe that this is asynchronous. So you don't want to just do like a big if statement, and there's no way to do a switch statement unless you, I guess we're just listening for like a key down event. Dad jokes the highest form of wit. It is. Dads have ascended. That's why I have not ascended yet. At least in my knowledge. To my knowledge, I have not ascended yet. Hopefully not. That would be a travesty. Like, knock knock. Congratulations, you have ascended. Oh, that's great. Now you can make dad jokes. That's fantastic. Wait, no. Anyways, I think at this point, anyways, I think I would probably know. So unless I have like a, how long has it been since I've been out of school? Yeah, 4. Unless I have like a 4-year-old that I don't know about, I think that's. I think I'm probably fine. I think I'm probably fine. That would be weird though. Alright, so this is where we're at. We can press F5. What is that? It's kind of floaty. Where it looks floaty because I allow you to go in the diagonal. Because I don't know. I like being able to go diagonal, right? It is kind of hard to hit the diagonal on the first try because it immediately debounces you as well. So maybe I won't allow you to go in the diagonal. I don't know. Or, no, it doesn't immediately debounce you. You just have to hit it. you just have to hit both of these at the same time, so that the process frame, the debouncer, in the process function. So the process function runs as fast as possible. So if it detects that there is some sort of movement, it will start debouncing you. Where debouncing, something I learned about somewhat recently. It's something I've implemented for this application. So whenever you change one of these fields here, it will, you know, it'll try to save itself, but only on like it'll try to save debounced or be a debounce save. How do you describe debouncing? Is it a debounce save, or does it save on a debounce? It's one of those things where I've never heard anyone like talk about it. I've only ever heard people like type it out. Or I saw people type it out. I didn't hear them type it out. But maybe I do. Maybe I secretly have synthesia. First time I've heard of it. Yeah, it's one of those things, right? Like it's, once you start getting into like saving text fields like automatically, it makes a lot of sense. But it's just something I've never really considered, or even considered to like give a name. But yeah, debouncing, literally called debounce. Something you use a lot in JavaScript for sure. So, I guess there's a lot of packages to do it for you, debounce, but it's not too hard to implement yourself. I mean, so like here it is, right? So you have a counter. If you detect a change, then you presumably would save the field or whatever. That's how like applications work when you type in a search result. Like when you type into Google, Google doesn't immediately send every single keystroke to its server. It sends it on like a debounce timer, so probably like 0.1 every like 0.1 second, maybe even half a second, every half a second. It sends your response to the server, but it doesn't send every single keystroke to the server. And in this case, instance, it's probably like caching the response so it can happen instantaneously. But it's how you do kind of like reactive UIs, right? Without having to have an explicit save button or search button. Anyways, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I will be here, not all week actually, I'll be here tomorrow at the very least, maybe Friday. I am very much struggling to keep motivated to keep working on this. Oh, and that's wrong. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, that's wrong. Hey. So the animation's messed up. So that's not what the animation should be looking like. So the animation should look like this. So we're using a very limited color palette. I do have just a custom script here. Oh, and I do need to also change my title. Godot 3.4 GitHub game off development. There we go. Yeah, so I do have a palette swapper script. So it works for palettes of size. This size. Limited color palettes breed creativity. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, limited anything kind of breeds creativity, or stifles it if you, I guess, if it's a bit too limited. But the idea of the palette swapper, right? So I can do something like I don't know, like this is how it works, right? So you just set the swap palette. And all of this is actually available on my GitHub as well, under Godot snippets. Not a very popular repository, but it does have several just random things in there, which may or may not be useful. I think this one's actually fairly useful. But this is not what it looks like in the repository because I've changed it for my own needs. But it is a shader that just does a palette swap for you, which is nice. So there's a few colors that we could swap between. I could actually do this just to demonstrate. So swap palette to, I don't know. We can do, well, a few things here. So now we're working in C#. So I'm just gonna be very, very confused constantly. So if action is pressed, UI cancel, and OS is debug build, then we want to quit. Else if IE is action pressed, hit, it's like UI select. Is it called UI select here? Input map, UI select. Yeah, UI select, so that should be spacebar or tab. We can do swap palette to, I don't know, palette swapper palettes, coldfire GB. And this is just for testing, so I'll need to remove this later. Is action pressed. What other UI things do I have? UI focus next. UI focus next. Swap palette to, I guess, ice cream GB. So these are not my palettes. I took these from low spec. Low spec, is it just .com? Yeah, lowspec.com. Big fan. I think creating color palettes is something that was surprisingly difficult, right? Lots of reading to do on like color theory, which I didn't realize. But yeah, so this is what it looks like normally. This is, I think this is the Mist GB color palette. Then we can switch it to this one, look at that. And then switch it back to this one. Look at that, how nice. So we can switch it between these two. And then this is actually doing a palette swap via shader. And since there's only 4 colors, I mean, it's really easy. The hard part is that if you want to extend the, I guess, the shader scripts, it's pretty difficult. Right, I don't know if you were here when I was explaining this, but you do need to manually define every single palette or every single color that you want to swap. And so there's kind of a hard limit on how many things can be swapped. And that's kind of a limitation of both shading languages and also just Godot's shading language. So it's like twofold. So this is what we got instead, right? Because I don't think that you can have a vector of vector 4s. You can have a vector of just integers or floats, but you cannot have a vector of vectors, which makes this tough because each color is a vector 4. I don't realize how much science is involved. There's a lot of science involved in like a lot of things. If you just break it down, right? Like music theory is crazy, dude. Like I'm pretty okay at playing music, performing music, but if you want me to compose, I'm like, I don't really know, man. The most I know about music theory is like the difference between minor and major, but even then it's kind of, my understanding there is a little shaky. But then yeah, it's like a lot of like I was talking to some friends in university who did more of the music theory stuff, or you know, whatever, they majored in that. And yeah, we like music theory courses just killed us, man. Like we're given a sheet of music with no, whatchamacallit, no key, and then we need to figure out what the key is. I said, what? you given a sheet of music with no key attached, you need to figure out what the key is, so then you need to do some calculations. It's like you need to be able to count the numbers, so if you like look for the resolving notes, and then you know, I don't know, man. All I know is that you don't want to do 1/4. 1/4 is bad. Or pretty much anything in 4s. So like 2 to 5, not great either. Arpeggios are good, so you want to hit it with like a 1 5 7. That's usually pretty good. 1 3 5 is a standard chord. I don't know. Why Beethoven could compose while deaf? Yeah, well, isn't Beethoven more of a special case, or is Beethoven known for his music theory? I thought Beethoven was just like he could imagine it really well. I don't know anything about composers. Except for there's Shostakovich, who disliked the Soviet regime. So his music was, at least in the later parts of his life, were kind of, they conformed to the party standard, but they were also interwoven with like anti-Soviet things, something like that? Is that correct? I'm not familiar with Shostakovich's biography, but I feel like I remember having that explained to me at one point when we were playing it. And that's why like some pieces of music would feel like it's kind of like tiptoeing around, because he was like, we're tiptoeing around him, but they'll never know from the music. But that's the feeling that you want to convey, I guess. Sounds right, yeah. Sounds right. Hopefully I explained it in a way that was compelling. Maybe not. So it's greater than, I think it's just I need to modify this value here. So, okay, well, something's not right here either. So we're just kind of tweaking this value. I could make this an export var so I can modify this in the editor, but I'm lazy. All right, so this is what the animation should look like. Yeah, okay, so that looks a lot better. Yeah. So it's very Pokemon-esque. I think what I also want to do is, you know, kind of know, like, you know, in Pokemon, you're able to, if you just tap the input once, or for like a single frame, you'll just turn in that direction, you won't actually move. Looks smooth. Yeah, I think up close it looks better. But there is also a bit of tweaking I need to do with the movement as well, right? Because you can kind of see here that that looks bad. Because I released my movement, but then we still kind of turned. So what's happening is that we're debouncing and we're moving at different rates. So the tile that we're trying to go to kind of like, we'll never actually catch up to this. This is not actually what it looks like. Oh, I guess kind of is. Like this is roughly what it looks like. Maybe it is exactly what it looks like, I don't know. How it used to work was if you would just hold down the key, it would kind of expand like this, so that your position would kind of like slide in front of you really, really far. But maybe I accidentally fixed that. Maybe I'm accidentally really smart. Let's see if that's the case. I think it's unlikely. So I do know that it's one of the, I need to somehow factor in the debounce max to this value here. So this is our glow position. We don't have any collision set up on the thing. What I do need to consider at some point when doing a lot of the movements is how do I want collision to be set up? I'll probably just do it via like raycast, right? Where we'll just check the next tile and see if we can move to that tile. Otherwise, we'll just kind of move in place, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Let's start working on like combat stuff though, because that's something that's more interesting. And also why I wanted to do something that was more like Final Fantasy-esque, right? The old reliable raycast. Yeah, gotta love raycasts. I didn't realize like how efficient raycasts are actually. I thought raycasts were like somewhat expensive to do, right? Because you need to check a lot of positions along the way. But actually, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Like I used to think like raycasts were more inefficient than collision objects, but that's not the case. Or at least it's not the case if you are using anything more complicated than a axis aligned bounding blocks, AABB. Used to be back in the days of dinosaurs and fur boots. Boots with the fur. Oh, that's not how it goes. How does Fergalicious go? Fergalicious. Remember like Fergie? It's been a while, man. No, that's not Fergalicious. What was I singing? What the heck? That's not Fergalicious at all. I'm outing myself. I don't really know pop music that well. Bootylicious? I don't think that's Bootylicious. It goes like boots with the fur. No, wait, no. I can't remember how it goes either. I'm losing my mind. My memory, my long-term memory is apparently unreliable. Only good at just completely random trivia. Like knowing random things about Russian composers, but only the one. Okay, let's do like a combat screen. Or actually, this is the overworld unit, and then we can also do something like this where we'll expand this out into overworld unit. So this is player overworld unit. Player overworld unit. Give it one of these. We'll just slap everything into the same thing. It's okay. What if you feel that the 90s were only 5 years ago? Yeah. DAE 90s kid. I think I'm technically considered a 90s kid, but I was born on like I guess my formative years were closer to the earlier 2000s, or the early 2000s. Yeah. So, you know, just barely old enough for I guess the US viewers out there, just barely old enough to remember 9/11. Not quite old enough to grow up listening to Nirvana, though. I was more of a Linkin Park guy myself. What was I doing? Oh, I need to add a script to this. Creates it in the editor, but I still want to use the editor for some stuff. I think the editor is much better for debugging, for sure. So player overworld units. So this extends overworld. Bring me back. So namespace. Entities. Units. So you can have multiple types of entities, right? So I think like props or like interactables are all count as entities, but they're not units, which is why I make the distinction. So you have entities and then units, something like that. So now that we're here, we can inherit from overworld units. What specific things do we want? I think the most important part is that I need to grab all of this stuff. So this should not be used by a lot of other things. This does need to be... These need to be protected. 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 And then I also need to change their names. Protected. Then I'm going with a more Godot style, I guess, inheritance structure. Yeah, I don't know why I was trying to really stick to, you know, like the level, like the screen is the controller, as opposed to the unit is its own controller, and then it interacts with things on the level. I don't know why I was trying to avoid that so much. Yeah, I think that's kind of hampered my development trying to work around that. Like, I think it's more efficient that way to do that, but there's not a lot of reason to do that. So this is anim player. Let's see, intended movement, rename symbol. Yeah. Maybe once I'm done with this stuff and I start feeling a bit more inspired, we'll do some stuff in Rust, or at least more ECS focus. ECS focus, not ECS. ECS focused. I like the idea of an ECS. I just, you know, I enjoy being productive more. Alright, so I think that's good. Yeah. Yeah. So the only difference between an overworld unit and the player overworld unit is the fact that the player overworld unit takes its inputs from, I guess, just the raw input stuff, whereas other overworld units will be controlled by like a controller. How'd you think of that? Wow. Okay, so we'll go to player overworld unit, grab this. We're just kind of switching up a few, I guess, loads, right? That's not how you do it. There we go. Let's paste that in. Press run, and then we should see this just work. How nice. Okay, cool. So that's good. And then there's a reason why I'm making a distinction between, you know, just units and overworld units, is because in the battle screen, so this is the test screen, we'll add another screen, probably going to be just overlaid over the test screen. That's what I'm thinking right now. So the idea here, right, is that we'll have this screen, you run around, and then once you get into a battle, you won't like go Pokemon style. It won't be Pokemon style where you kind of transition to another screen. We'll just kind of blur out this stuff, and it won't be pixel perfect either, right? So the UI won't be pixel perfect. What will happen is we'll kind of blur out this stuff, probably using a shader. And then we'll have, what's the Square Enix game I had? Square Enix Dungeon, yeah, Dungeon Encounters. So if you are familiar with just random JRPGs, like I am, I like playing JRPGs, at least for a little bit, until I get frustrated, and then I drop it for forever. But this is their newest JRPG. It looked cool, but then I saw it was like 30 bucks. And I was like, it's 30 bucks for this? Like, it looks good. It looks like a tech demo though. Like this is like the rawest. It's like this is what it looks like. And then it transitions to a battle screen like this, question mark, question mark, question mark. So I'm thinking I can do something like this as well. So this is pretty easy because it's just like character portraits and then like, here are your stats, you know? That's what I'm thinking. And then the battle system will be, it won't be traditional, I guess, Final Fantasy. I'm not a huge fan of just taking turns and going. Want to see if I can make like a WeGo system, as I've had it explained to me before. So the system goes, so instead of, you know, you take your turn, then the enemy takes their turn, instead it will be, you know, we all take our turns at the same time, or at least your units take their turns at the same time as the enemy units. So I think there's more interesting things that you could do with that. Yeah. And then of course you can have like a turn counter or whatever. So Like based on your speed attributes would determine how fast you can take your turns. So sometimes your turns will line up with the enemies, sometimes you won't. Something like that. But we won't get too far into the magic system because that's not the point of the game. But yeah, that's the idea. So we'll blur out this part. We'll go to a higher definition UI with my very excellent developer art. Probably just kind of paste it in. It'll probably look like this UI as well, now I'm thinking about it. Because this is like the most basic UI I could have. It's like actually like your stats. It's 4 columns, it's so easy. But yeah, I feel like battle systems where you just take turns, that's kind of overdone, right? Like it's, everyone knows how they work. It's not very interesting. Like even Pokemon's battle system, you don't play Pokemon for the battle system. You play it to collect stuff. There's an appeal to it for sure, but I think also, right, I'm not going to be impressing anybody by doing it. So that's not the... I think if you're going to do something that's like everyone else has done before, then you need to make sure that you do it well. But I don't have too much confidence in my ability to do it well. You heard of the popcorn method. What is the popcorn method? Popcorn method. Popcorn method. In math? How to make perfect popcorn on the stovetop? Nice. Is this what you were talking about? Probably not. Popcorn method, I don't know. Brainstorming? I'm assuming that's what you're going for. I don't think this is what you're talking about. Participants speak out loud in round robin. It's working silent. Well, no. What? Wow, I don't need this. I feel like I've done this before. I just don't. I know it under a different name. The person who goes first chooses the person that goes next, and then that person chooses the next. Oh, so you're saying like instead of having a turn-based or even like a simultaneous battle system, I guess you would choose who goes next in your party, something like that. And the enemy AI would do the same. I don't know. I think that doesn't incentivize you to... The person chooses the next enemy, or just their next unit who wants to go, and then the enemy goes, and they choose who they want to go after they take their turn, right? I feel like that kind of incentivizes... I don't know. That's an interesting idea, I think. You have the players go first, but that means the enemy will all go at the end. I guess that's kind of cool. It's still... It does take out some of the speed mechanic as well, which I like having a speed mechanic where you can kind of spec into speed. I like having the speed aspect. I like being able to go multiple times before a slower unit. But I do get the appeal of that. So you have the player go first. It means the enemy will all go at the end. It's still very turn-based though, but it is a nice twist, I guess. Nice twist. I wonder if there's a way I can incorporate that. A popcorn method. Is there a game that does that? Player can choose an enemy to go next. Yeah, well, the problem with choosing the enemy who wants to go next, right, is that it incentivizes you to just like, you know, I want the healer to go next. I want the healer to go next. I want the healer to go next. So that the enemy will never do any damage to you. Their healer will just, I guess, continuously buff the rest of them. So it's easy to cheese. So that it's kind of harder to design around. Turn-based RPGs, or is that tabletop RPG? I'm assuming you mean like turn-based. I've never really played tabletop. Okay, tabletop, TT. Yeah, I don't know. I think Tabletop, you have the Dungeon Master, though, to kind of balance out encounters. Where I don't really have that ability here. Or at least, I do have a month to work on this, but I don't feel very confident in my ability to execute in like a Dungeon Master kind of, like, oh, you're selecting the same unit. I suppose what could happen, actually, now that we're talking about game design, if you select which unit you want to go next, you can have, I was gonna say if you pick the same unit twice in a row, I guess they would get buffed. They would get buffed or something. But then that would just mean that you would just flip between, like, so if the enemy had like a healer and like a garbage unit, you would switch between the two units. Or even if they had a healer, so then that would mean I had to change the design so there's no such thing as a garbage unit anymore. So all units are, or all enemies are substantial, right? But then that would just mean it would incentivize you to kind of spec your party to, I guess, invalidate a certain type of unit. And so you would want to bounce between the healer and the unit that's invalidated, so they can't really do too much damage to you. And then I don't know. That's a weird design space. That's a weird design space. I like the idea though. I would need to think about that a bit more. There are rounds and characters who only have X amount of moves per round relative to their speed. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. That's interesting. So instead of having, I guess, like a turn order, more or less, like what I was more envisioning, we'll just do this in regular paint. What I was more envisioning was you kind of have, like, this is your, I guess this is your turn order, right? And then you have, the current turn, whoever's going currently, right? And then you have, your enemies, at different places, and they kind of like tick down towards the middle, and then you would do the same, or the player would do the same, right? But instead, what you are kind of suggesting is, instead of having things go in this direction, right? Instead of having things go in this direction, you instead just have set turns or set rounds, and then you kind of decide, based on how fast they are, how many attacks they get. Could be interesting as well. Could be interesting as well. I don't know. We'll figure it out, though. We'll figure it out. It's an interesting idea. I'm still more of a leaning towards I guess a simultaneous turn system, though. I'm still leaning towards that since I haven't really played a game like that. I guess you could mix like your suggestion where the like, rounds where you have X amount of moves, and then you just have everyone just go at the same time. I don't know how that would work though. That'd be weird, right? Because then you would need to define, if you're buffing a unit, how would you determine whether or not you buff before or after they attack? And you might be saying, why would you want to buff after a unit attacks? And maybe it's because one of their abilities happens, it triggers a thing afterwards. Or maybe you want to heal them after they use an attack because they get counterattacked. I don't know. Right, because you don't want to overheal during a round. Yeah. Having everyone take their turns at the same time makes it a bit difficult in terms of timing. Tactics you have to learn. Yeah, it's one of those things you would have to learn, or it just would feel weird Right, if everyone takes their turn at the same time, then you don't really have a way to like define when you want to, I guess, use a skill, or you would have to build that into the system. But then at that point, then you're not really taking the turn at the same time, right? Yeah. Then you're just throwing ideas. Yeah, it's no problem. It's good. It's good. It's good. You know. More ideas. Not always a bad thing. What's up? Working hard or hardly working? Yes. Yes, in general. I did fix my Twitch bot over the course of the stream, so that's pretty neat. But that's pretty much it. Fixed my Twitch bot. Kind of manipulated. Oh, geez. So we have a Pokemon style almost overworld system, and I'm working on the GitHub Game Off stuff 2021. Going for a kind of a Final Fantasy style, or I guess in this style, kind of game. Just kind of trying to figure out what I want to do for the battle system, because this is how I want it to look. What was wrong with it? What is it? Are you talking about the Twitch bot or the, I guess, the movement? So in terms of the movements, animations were broken. Was also getting some weird behavior in terms of just regular movement, right? Because how this movement system works, I found out recently, is that like this is how Pokemon does it as well. Is that Pokemon does like a debounce thing. So it reads inputs every now and then, but so you put in an input and then you need to debounce it, and then it'll start listening for input after that debounce amount. But what was happening, right, is we're not doing something like this, right? So you're not just moving the square ahead. What was actually happening is that when you would walk around, you would go bump, 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 and then your move to position would kind of glide really, really far in front of you. But I think that's mostly fixed. Also, there's diagonal movement, which is cool enough for me as well. Diagonal movement still feels a little floaty though. Yeah, see. Something like that. Like I'm kind of able to guess where it's gonna go, but that feels kind of bad. So the Twitch bot. So what was happening there? And we can hit it with the Twitch bot, right? So we can hit it with a help. Here we go. So it's still up. So the Twitch bot is also my Discord bot. So what was happening is that it wasn't properly sending stream notifications. Oh, no, I don't use the Nightbot stuff. It's all question marks because we're special like that. But yeah, I think the problem that was happening with the Twitch bot is that I didn't realize that this thing here, and there's a lot of comments, but just ignore the comments, or the commented out code. I didn't realize that this code here, Twitch client.connect, I didn't realize that just kind of loops infinitely. So that was preventing me from actually pulling stream notifications. So seeing if I was live or not, and then posting a stream notification to Discord. But yeah. So pretty much like this is the only thing that needed to change. But just got stuck for an hour because I thought it was tried moving over to the Helix Twitch library, the Golang library called Helix. Or yeah. I think there's something wrong with the library, or there's something that I'm missing, but I've just decided to use just raw post requests. How nice. So we fixed a few things. So now stream notifications actually work in Discord. Neat. Which we can see here. So sent a stream notification November 3rd at 10:36 p.m. Look at that. Oh yeah, it's all fixed. If you want to run your own Twitch/Discord bot, that code is free and open source. I believe it's available under Apache 2 license as well. There are like a lot of setup things that you need to change, like environment variables, and also there's a lot of hard-coded values because it is kind of in the middle of a big rewrite. So it does work though. But anyways, let's see. We'll have a battle screen, which is kind of, I think how this is going to work is we'll just have a separate canvas layer that displays on top of the overworld screen. We'll blur it out and then we'll go to one of these kind of views. I like that idea. So we're gonna go for it. So battle screen, hit it with one of these, add a script to it, open this up in VS Code. We will also need to adjust the namespace because Godot doesn't do that for you, which is, I don't know. There's not really a great way to auto-generate the namespace either because you don't have access to those variables. I don't think you do. Or I guess you're not able to define a namespace in the script templates, which is kind of a pain. So there's your battle screen. So whenever you get into a battle, I'm not sure if I want to do random battles or not, or want to do something that's more, I don't know, more modern, where you can actually see the enemy and then they'll just run at you, and that'll be your battle. We'll see. Well, anyways, I'm over time. So thanks for tuning in. I will be live tomorrow from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, working on this thing again. Hopefully in the meantime, we'll be able to get a new release of this thing out. OpenCFace GD, I wrote this in Godot. Do need to get a hotfix out for Linux stuff, but I just need to find time to test on Linux. Keep it nostalgic. I'm gonna do a mix of both, I think, because it's kind of hard to do pixel art of, or do everything pixelated, or do everything pixel perfect. Pixel perfect is kind of a pain to do. Random battles, oh. I'm not a huge fan of random battles, but it is definitely more nostalgic, for sure. Yeah, if you haven't given the channel a follow already, I highly encourage you to do so. I have kept a pretty consistent streaming schedule for like a year or something, I don't know. Have a Discord if you want to join that, posted that in a chat. Pretty much everything I work on is open source, including this game, which will be open sourced after the game off, unless it gets like first place, and then in which case we'll see what happens after that. But I think it's very unlikely, so we won't bet on that. But yeah, I will see you later. Oh, ever heard of Crisis Core? Isn't that like a Final Fantasy thing? Crisis Core. Yeah. I've never played it. The only Final Fantasy I've actually played all the way through is Final Fantasy VI. I have played bits and pieces of a lot of the other ones. Like I played through a pretty good amount of Final Fantasy XII. That's a pretty fun game. And then also whatever the Final Fantasy that has Vivi in it. Is that Final Fantasy IX? Final Fantasy, I like that real-time battle system. No, my current idea is a WeGo system, so you'll have a turn order, of course, but if your turn coincides with the enemies, then you'll both go at the same time. So that's kind of like a speed system, in addition to like having to you know, decide like, do you want to, I guess, defend at the same time as you're getting attacked or something. Yeah, Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, never played it, but that's cool. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I will be live tomorrow from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, goodbye.